Hello, my name is Sophie Sutton, and today I'll be extending on my last report of contract cheating and going deeper into why so many international students come to Australia to study. Universities for years have been dealing with the lack of government funding. Regional universities are an example of government funding stopping altogether, leading universities to think of fast, easier ways to gain money. This is when universities use international students to boost the economy of the university.
Yeah, I think that's basically the Australian higher education model at the moment, because there is not enough money to go by, and now universities have to generate that cash and very quickly, so they have turned to international students.
In a recent Four Corners report, it brought to light that universities are using international students to raise revenue. This then naming the international students as cash cows. I went to Southern Cross University to ask teaching staff their opinion on the matter.
I think cash cows is the perfect, in a sense, illustration of it, yeah.
Coupled to that, there is a current freeze on higher education funding, and one means of alleviating that freeze is to find other revenue streams, which obviously international students, given their full fee paying, is one potential stream. And you see across Australia a number of institutions whose international fees, in terms of the percentage of their revenue, is higher than both domestic full fee paying students and also Commonwealth supported places. So upwards of 40% of their overall revenues from international students.
Although many can see this as a negative, there is also the opinion that it is beneficial as the funds support further research within universities.
So to keep the funding, keep it viable and something that's attractive to students to enrol, I guess you need to keep researching, you need to be putting your name out, you need to be advertising and stay competitive. So I guess I wouldn't so much call it a cash cow or a rash decision, but probably a well thought out decision that's probably beneficial for the universities as a whole, and I guess it also gives the opportunity for people from other countries to come and experience Australia as well. So I don't see it completely as a negative, but we need to be able to keep in mind that universities still need to be able to fund research, because research is what we're here for, really.
When speaking to the teaching staff at Southern Cross University about the perceived lack of government funding, they were quick to answer that there isn't enough funding going towards universities.
I would say first I would not agree with the characteristic. Perceived lack of funding is not the thing. I think it's just lack of funding. It's not perceived. It is a lack of funding. It's like a business that they have to generate the profit. So when you do that, so that's the only objective you have. You can do that in many ways. But in the short term, and the easiest way to do it is usually through exploitation. But who are the target for the university is they have to justify themselves economically. That means they have to generate enough revenue in the short term, not even in the long, even in the short term. So that means if your target is you have to generate revenue, then what do you expect the universities will do? They will generate revenue. So the way to generate revenue is that you admit anyone and everyone that you can, they can pay the fees.
And that is all on the lack of government funding towards universities and how international students are being used to raise revenue within universities. I'm Sophie Sutton, and thank you for watching.
So the question you have to ask yourself, what is the purpose of universities and education?